The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins.
24 tributes, one arena, and only one survivor. But the Hunger Games isn't just about survival. It's about power, control, and what happens when someone refuses to play by the rules. In this video, I'll break down the setting, characters, conflict, full plot, and themes, and my personal view. The story takes place in a dystopian country called Panem, built on the ruins of North America. At the center is the capital, a rich and powerful city where people live in luxury and watch the games as entertainment. Surrounding it are 12 districts, each poor and controlled, forced to produce resources for the capital. Every year, as punishment for a past rebellion, each district must send one boy and one girl to compete in the Hunger Games. The games take place in a massive arena, a completely controlled environment created by the capital. Inside the arena, everything is designed to test survival, from deadly weather to dangerous creatures, and even the events inside it were controlled to keep viewers entertained. Now, let's talk about characters. The main character is Katniss Everdeen. She's a skilled hunter from District 12, independent, resourceful, and fiercely protective of her family. Then there's Peeta Mellark. Peeta is kind, thoughtful, and understands how to win over the audience, which is very important in the games. One of the most emotional characters is Rue. She's young, quick, and intelligent, but she reminds Katniss of her sister, creating a strong emotional connection. There's also Thresh. Thresh is strong and quiet, but he shows fairness and compassion, especially in a key moment that proves not everyone in the games loses their humanity. Another key character is Haymitch, the mentor who guides Katniss and Peeta. And finally, President Snow, who represents the capital's control, using fear and manipulation to maintain power. Several layers of conflict in the story. First is an external conflict, Katniss versus the other tributes in a fight to survive. Second is the social conflict, the districts versus the capital, which forces them into the games. And third is the internal conflict. Katniss struggles with fear, emotions, and moral choices that she has to make. She constantly questions how to survive without losing who she is. The story begins with the reaping. From each district, one boy and one girl are chosen to compete. When Katniss' younger sister, Prim, is selected, Katniss volunteers to take her place. She is taken to the capital with Peeta Mellark. There, they're trained, styled, and presented to the public like celebrities. Peeta reveals his feelings for Katniss during an interview, which helps them gain attention and support. Once the games begin, the tributes enter the arena and must fight for survival using their skills. Katniss avoids early danger and relies on her hunting abilities. She eventually forms an alliance with Rue. Together, they come up with a plan to destroy the career supplies, showing teamwork and trust. But when Rue dies, it becomes one of the most emotional moments in the story. Katniss honors her with respect, which becomes a quiet act of rebellion against the capital. Later, Thresh encounters Katniss, but he chooses to spare her life after learning about her connection with Rue. This moment shows that even in the games, people can still choose compassion. As the games continue, Katniss reunites with Peeta, and they work together to survive. In the final moments, they refuse to kill each other, and instead threaten the capital to both die. This forces the capital to declare them both winners. This act becomes a powerful symbol of defiance. The story explores several powerful themes: power and control. The capital uses fear and punishment to maintain authority. Survival versus humanity, characters must decide how far they're willing to go. Media influence, the games are turned into entertainment, showing how reality can be manipulated. Rebellion, even small acts like Katniss haunting Rue can inspire change. Rue and Thresh both show that humanity can still exist, even in the harshest conditions. The Hunger Games is just more than an action story. It's intense, emotional, and very meaningful. Katniss is a strong but realistic character, which makes her easy to connect with. The pacing is fast, especially during the arena scenes, and it keeps you engaged the entire time. What really stands out is the message. It makes you think about power, society, and how people can be controlled. That's the Hunger Games for you. A story about survival, courage, and standing up against control. If you were in the arena, what would your strategy be? See you in the next video.